6:60 KDUZ News. I'm Mark Wodarczyk. Authorities say the body of a western Minnesota police chief was found in a lake where his boat capsized the night before. Divers at Long Lake recovered the body of Hancock Police Chief Donald Heikkinen yesterday. Long Lake, about 8 miles east of Morris in Stevens County. The Minnesota State Patrol has identified the trooper who shot and killed a motorist after she dragged him with her vehicle. State Patrol Lieutenant Colonel Matt Langer said yesterday the trooper was David Kalanoff. Langer says Kalanoff has been with the agency for 12 years. Kalanoff stopped the vehicle of Deborah Dory on Saturday. Authorities say Kalanoff noticed what appeared to be drugs in her car, and as he was checking it out, the 48-year-old landfall woman tried to speed off. Langer says Kalanoff's arm got entangled in Dory's steering wheel, and he was dragged about 200 feet before he shot her. Kalanoff suffered minor injuries to his wrist, arm, and knees. He has been put on leave while the incident is investigated. Last year's 131 alcohol-related vehicle deaths was Minnesota's lowest on record. The death toll was 21% lower than 5 years ago. Department of Public Safety officials say drivers are making better decisions. They also credit enhanced enforcement and education campaigns. It's the first week of classes for many school districts throughout Minnesota, and the State Patrol is reminding drivers to watch out for those yellow buses. Patrol Lieutenant Eric Roski says drivers need to be patient and remember to give school buses 20 feet of space when the red lights are flashing and the stop arm is out. Also, he says drivers need to remember that if they can't see the mirrors on the bus driver can't see them. Finally, he says drivers need to be on the lookout for children waiting at bus stops because those children may be running into the street. Minnesota House Democrats announced their back-to-school roundtable tour at the state capitol today. The focus is the delay in state aid payments. That's part of the budget balancing deal Republicans and Governor Dayton agreed on earlier this summer. Roseville Democrat Mindy Greiling.
Right now, we have borrowed from our schools $3.5 billion if you total up everything. No other state even does this except for California, and they don't even do it half as much as we do.
Greiling says that money has to be paid back, which will affect how much new funding is available to schools to address their growing needs. A bill passed by the legislature this year requires school districts to have a teacher evaluation plan. Education Minnesota's Tom Dewar says some teachers have gone for years without evaluations.
And so that's going to be a big part of conversations in school districts. Parents are going to be part of it, the business community, the Chamber of Commerce.
Districts that don't have a plan will have one drawn up for them by the state. The St. Paul School Board has given its superintendent a $40,000 relocation package for a 10-mile move from Woodbury to St. Paul. When Valerie Silva was named superintendent in 2009, board members agreed it wasn't a good time to sell her house. Now they say they want her to make the move. Both President Obama and Republicans who want his job are under the gun in a new poll. ABC's Chuck Severson has more.
Focus on the White House. While more than half disapprove of President Obama's job performance in a new ABC News Washington Post poll, 68% disapprove of the way the Republicans in Congress are doing their jobs. ABC News White House correspondent Ann Compton.
President Obama is now threatening with greater vigor to use jobs as a political hammer on Republicans during the coming election year. That is, if Congress fails to pass significant new job creation this fall.
Republican contender Mitt Romney plans to lay out his jobs plan today. And while Sarah Palin rallied Tea Party supporters in New Hampshire yesterday,
it was the Tea Party movement that shifted the entire fiscal debate in Washington, D.C.
At a labor rally in Detroit with President Obama, Teamsters Union President James Hoffa accused the Tea Party of waging war on the American worker.
Let's take these son of a bitches out and give America back to America where we belong. Thank you very much.
Chuck Severson, ABC News.
The campaign chief and deputy campaign manager for Republican presidential contender Michelle Bachmann are leaving in a campaign shakeup. Bachmann campaign manager Ed Rollins tells CNN that at 68 he just doesn't have the stamina for 12 and 14-hour days every day of the week. He says he had planned to transition after putting into place a campaign team and getting past the Iowa straw poll. He plans to continue as a senior advisor. Rollins says his deputy and longtime colleague David Polyansky decided that it was a good time for him to leave the campaign as well. The destructive remnants of Tropical Storm Lee are pushing the rains farther north after spawning tornadoes, flooding numerous roads, and sweeping several people away in the south. Meanwhile, Hurricane Katia has weakened to a Category 3 storm in the Atlantic Ocean as it veers away from the United States. Todd Kimberlin at the National Hurricane Center says Katia is generating big waves all along the East Coast, even though it won't hit land.
Because of this, there could be dangerous surf conditions and rip currents affecting the local beaches. And so if you're going into the water there, you might want to take heed.
Residents in far northern Minnesota got a brisk reminder that summer is coming to an end.
The National Weather Service in Duluth reported a number of below freezing temperatures Sunday night into Monday morning. The Weather Service says lows hit 28 in Crane Lake, 30 in Silver Bay, and 31 in International Falls. Temperatures sank to 32 degrees at Big Fork, Ely, Eveleth, Hibbing, and Orr. A frost advisory had been in effect Sunday night for areas in the Iron Range and northward. Abby Popp reporting.
Farmers across the state are busy preparing for fall harvest. U of M climatologist Mark Seeley says the weather patterns look ideal.
All of the climate models project a warmer than normal fall season with no early threat of frost. So that's even better when you superimpose that on top of anticipating the crop harvesting season.
Despite a few areas of the state, Seeley anticipates a good crop. Parts of southeastern and south central Minnesota are seeing abnormally dry soil conditions. A descendant of Chief Sleepy Eye has donated her ancestors' peace pipe to the Minnesota city that adopted the chief's name. Karen Douglas Cecil lives in Palm Desert, California. She's the seventh-generation grandchild of Chief Sleepy Eye. Cecil says the pipe belongs near the chief's burial site. There was a close call for a perfect game in baseball last night as White Sox rookie Zach Stewart took a perfect game into the eighth inning and finished with a one-hitter. Chicago completed a doubleheader sweep of the Minnesota Twins, 4-0. The lone Minnesota hit was Danny Valencia's leadoff double in the eighth, spoiling the right-hander's bid to become the 21st rookie in Major League history to throw a no-hitter. Milwaukee's Randy Wolf allowed one run over 8 innings to win his 12th game of the season with a 4-1 victory over the Cardinals. Ryan Braunhomer to give the Brewers a 2-0 lead early in the game.
Westbrook pitching, and the brilliant sunshot as Braun swings and bangs one.